asked a group of women what their favorite movie is, what do you think that they
The
say?
Notebook.
Okay, other than The Notebook.
The Notebook.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, well, we're talking about Pretty Woman. This is a classic review of Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman. The Notebook is not my favorite film. I watched it once. I don't need to watch it again. So I'm not the romantic type of movie watching person.
So we're not going to review The Notebook?
If you want to, I'm fine. I'll have to watch it again, Jules. I will do that for you.
Decide. So if y'all want us to review The Notebook, let us know in the comments. Okay, Pretty Woman came out in 1990. It's rated R. It's an hour and 59 minutes long.
That's a long time for this type of movie.
Yeah.
Even for back then, especially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I thought so too.
Okay.
All right. It stars Richard Gere as Edward Lewis.
He's rich.
Yeah.
He got some dough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Julia Roberts as Vivian Ward. Jason Alexander as Philip Stuckey.
We know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I always remember him from Seinfeld. That's just what I know him as George Costanza.
Yeah.
I always say George Costanza. Okay.
Yeah. And Laura San Giacomo as Kit DeLuca.
She had her own show before with David Spade. I forgot the name of the show, but it was a comedy. It was really funny.
And Hector Elizondo as Barney Thompson.
Okay.
Who was like my favorite character in that movie. This is not
Barney?
my favorite movie, but if I had to pick a favorite character,
it would be him.
It would be him.
Okay.
So I think you guys know what this is about. Rich man breaks up with his girlfriend. He needs a date for dinner meetings and things like that. He finds a lady of the night, which is Julia Roberts.
You sound real sugarcoaty.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to say the man he wanted a date, so he turned a trick? Okay. I like how you try to romance. Let me leave you alone. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jules. I'm sorry. You were feeling it. I'm sorry. Okay, let me let her do it. Sorry, y'all.
Lady of the night to be his date. She's beautiful, and of course they fell in love. It was like Cinderella, and so yeah, the story ensues. I mean, but I'm like, okay, so she's supposed to be kind of smart, right?
No.
This is what I said. Kind of smart. She's supposed to be kind of smart.
Well, we can go on that, but go ahead. What you're gonna say? Because I do want to talk about that.
I'm like, how do you? Okay, if you have any kind of smarts, aren't you smart enough to like try to go to a regular store and get some regular clothes before you walk up in Beverly Hills with hooker clothes on?
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Or go home and get your regular clothes because she had regular clothes at home.
That bit of common sense you would think she would have had.
Yeah.
But one thing you noticed about her in this movie, she was loud. She was kind of ghetto a little bit. You know, you could tell she probably was not raised around money. Right. I mean, he's got all his breakfast in the hotel for him, and she sits with her legs cocked open in a chair and eating with her hands, and she's loud. And I'm like, don't you got a little bit of anywhere? Come on now. I know you've been picked up by some rich men before, but she was just protected. Everybody noticed it.
Yeah, because she seemed kind of new to the game of the stripping.
That's
so I'm like, you came from somewhere.
Yeah,
you had to have some type of home training.
You would think, but she was just a little ratchet. I'm sorry. She improved but I liked watching her evolve.
Yeah.
Even though it was only over a few days or so, I liked watching her evolve because she did start developing some self-esteem.
It's still just kind of unreal though. Like she's
for that to happen,
and then and she's out there, and then some rich guy. And
it's like that Cinderella story or Indecent Proposal. It makes me think of movies like that. But the fact that he kept her there, well, he didn't keep her there. He told he was going to pay her for it.
Yeah.
It's kind of with the Cinderella part, which you're not going to get very much. At least those type of men typically buy what they call high-end hookers.
Yeah.
That they just order. They're not going to go pick anybody up off the street because that's just straight skanky.
Right.
Not that the whole game ain't skanky anyway, but he turned a trick is what he did. So he said he hired her to, be his plus one and whatever. But then he's acting all embarrassed, because she a little, she ain't familiar with the stuff. How about you teach her a little bit?
Thank you.
And it was sweet that the guy, I think, the one that played Barney, he's the one who worked the hotel. he took the time because
Yes.
she asked,
Yes.
and he taught. And I was like, oh my gosh, she is learning a little
Yes.
bit, and she's trying.
Yeah.
So I started to get a little bit more appreciation for her because of that. And then you started to see her in nice outfits. And you're like, this woman is actually classy.
Yeah.
She doesn't need this wig. Her hair is gorgeous.
And I like
She's
the fact
pretty.
that she went back to that store where they didn't want to help her.
Oh, I loved that. You know, they wouldn't even answer her question because she was in a straight hooker clothes.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't matter, especially, you know, you don't know how much money somebody has just because of the way they dress.
No, you don't.
Steve Jobs, what did they say he wore? Old gym shoes,
T-shirt.
Yeah, you
Yep.
can't. But I would love to walk in a store like that, have millions, you know, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you don't treat people like that. And
No.
she kept asking, how much was it? Well,
Yeah.
you really can't afford this. Okay,
You
that's
don't
not
know
what
how
I
much
asked
I can
you.
afford. You just work here. You
Yeah,
own this.
that's
stuff.
like you
own this
you
store.
work here. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But then what they didn't know is that they could have made a big old commission from her, but because they treated her like that, I like how she went back and handled them.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just started liking her more and more
Yeah.
as it went on. Okay. So you have some fun facts about this?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Richard Gere and Julia Roberts had obvious chemistry upon their first meeting. However, Gere was not planning on taking the role. He was on the phone, ready to turn down the part when Roberts said to slid him a post-it note with the words, "Please say yes," written on it. He accepted the role right then.
I think they made good castmates.
Yeah.
They had chemistry.
Yep. Richard Gere is actually playing the piano and also composed the piece of music he plays. Did you guys know that?
I had no idea.
I
He was
didn't know
musically
that.
inclined.
Yep.
But okay.
In the bathtub scene where Vivian sings, a lot of detergent was used to make a lot of thick bubbles. The detergent was so strong, it rinsed the red dye out of Julia Roberts' hair. She had to have her hair re-dyed later that night.
That's gotta be damaging to your hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet you that, yeah. But she got paid.
Yeah,
Good.
she
for
got
it.
And by now, look, 1990, she got a whole new head of hair.
Yeah.
In the dinner scene where Vivian flings the snail across the room, the waiter who catches it says, "It happens all the time."
Yeah.
Director Gary Marshall threw in that threw the snail himself over many shots before the actor caught the snail convincingly. He then cast the same actor from The Princess Diaries 2001 and The Princess Diaries 2 2004 years later and gave him the same line.
Ain't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Getting recurring work like that just from that one liner.
Yep.
That's
it happens
cool.
all the time.
It was a funny scene because he was trying to make her not feel embarrassed
Yeah.
because she was.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't even know if you want to eat the snails.
That's another thing. So Richard Gere gets this girl from off the street. She
Straight
tells
off the
him
nasty
life.
streets.
Yeah, she tells him about herself a little bit.
Mhm.
You know, she's not cultured. Why would you order her snails? I mean, and you're on the dinner date. Like,
I don't even know how to eat snails. Do you know how to eat?
I don't want to eat.
Escargot.
I don't want to eat escargot.
I don't either.
Like,
I don't know how to eat it.
Like, no, thank you. Like, why
I'm
would you
cultured.
order-
We're cultured. We go to different restaurants, high end or low end, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I don't know how to eat snails. Escargot. Sorry, let me make sure it sounds all fancy.
Well, I know
I
from
don't
watching
eat
the
it.
movie, but I don't want to eat
I'm
it.
not going to.
Use
I'm not
little
going to.
tongs to hold it, and then use a little special fork to pull it out, and then you.
I would have flung it on purpose, like a
Yeah.
couple of them, just to make them be like, let's get her something
I
else.
was like, why the heck did you do
Ew.
this for me? Like, I want real food. Can I get
You
a
know.
steak? Like,
He tried to play that game with her at the wrong time. You should have did that
Thank
before
you.
y'all went and said, here.
Thank you.
When we get, you didn't say anything, dude. You picked her up off of some skanky
Right.
streets. It's not
Right.
like you picked her up off of Classy Boulevard or something.
right.
Dude.
Order her chicken,
Some
a steak,
duck, whatever they have at those
a
restaurants.
burger, you know, something regular,
That you know.
so that she doesn't have to struggle with that part of the dinner, so she could be a better date for you at that time instead of trying to figure out how to eat a dang snail.
And when they
That's
brought the
probably-
food too, she was looking at it like a, what is this? It?
'Cause
And
he
it made me
ordered
think
for
about.
her.
It made me think about the menu, the movie, The Menu. We how they would say this is a breadless sauce, and they served it as a dish. We're like, what? But that's what it made me think of.
Yeah.
Because she looked at that food like, where's the food though? It was like it looked like some kind of little sandwich, and I don't even know what else was on that plate, but it didn't even look like it was edible.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this poor thing. That snail toss is probably the best thing to have.
Most of those restaurants have chicken, and he should have ordered her chicken.
Yeah, at least something more simple.
She knows.
Yeah. But she tried, with the forks and stuff, and
yeah, she's a better woman than me, because it's what? It's a snail? No.
You gotta bring me something
He'd
else.
be like, try it. I'm paying you. No.
I'll even do calamari. I do calamari. I said I would never ever eat that. And then one day we went to a restaurant. I tried fried calamari, and it was at a more of a high end restaurant. So if you try stuff like that, don't try it at a low end restaurant or fast food. It is not going to be good.
Right.
But I tried it, and I was like, oh my god, this is good.
It wasn't Claim Jumpers, was it?
Okay. No, it was a place downtown.
Okay.
And they fried it real light, and I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe I'm eating an octopus. But it's so good. And now I like it, but I would not order it anywhere cheap, because you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And they usually don't put the love. And
you get what you get.
You get what you get. You do. So this is one of those movies. I don't know anybody who hasn't seen Pretty Woman. Do you?
No. You just made me think of my friend that got sushi from the freaking grocery store and got food poison.
Yuck.
I'm like, girl.
Why? It sits there sometimes after they make it. It'd be like the next day, like.
I was like, did the person that make it, were they,
there?
Were they at least Asian? I don't know. I don't know what to ask her. And she's like, no, it was already pre-made in the package. Oh, girl.
So they made that probably the day before, but usually if you go in the daytime, you will see them there.
That's what
like
I'm saying.
Two of them there.
I've seen them in there.
Yeah, making it
fresh
fresh
for you fresh.
But even, I don't like the way store-bought sushi tastes at all. I have to get my sushi fresh from Kabuki.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't put it in the fridge, because once you put it in the fridge, it's not really cold. It's not warm. It's just kind of like a room temperature type of thing when you're eating some of that stuff. And it's like, I have to eat mine now.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's a kind of thing that needs that certain temperature. I think that's the kind of food that you really need to get fresh. I don't know.
Now.
I've never eaten
now.
sushi.
It's not good cold. I eat the rolls, but I don't eat anything raw. I do the shrimp tempura and the California rolls, which is crab and shrimp. So I don't eat anything raw, and it needs to be eaten fresh, because the shrimp have just a bit of warmth to it, but everything is room temperature. You put it in the fridge. Well, you heat it. You can't heat it up because it is too hot. You can't eat it cold. Yeah, and you don't want to do that.
That could get bacteria.
Right.
Ipso facto.
Ipso facto. I'm your boss. You just made me think of that movie. Why? Ipso facto. Okay, but anyways, So that's what went down in Pretty Woman, and I don't typically love. This is more of a romantic comedy, would you say?
Yeah.
A little bit of because it was some funny parts in there.
Yeah. But
I'm not mad that I rewatched this. I'm glad I did. I missed a lot from when I first watched it a long, long time ago, and I picked up on a lot of what you call them Easter eggs and things like that. So I had fun watching it. I didn't even notice that it was basically 2 hours.
Yeah, and you can find it. Just Google. I don't remember where I watched it, but I didn't pay. I didn't have to pay.
It was with one of your subscriptions, because when I tried to pull it up, it came with I forget which subscription that it was with, but you could also rent it if you wanted to. But you can find it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. It might have been. It was either Stars or Paramount Plus.
Yeah, one of it wasn't Paramount Plus, because I have Paramount Plus.
It might be on Tubi.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Trust me. I check all of that. I'm gonna let you know if I find it, but. Pretty Woman, and actually, if you're a person that loves romantic comedies, if you're going to watch this, or you think I would say just go ahead and buy it. Don't pay whatever it is to rent. It was like maybe $4 or something. But then you can also buy it for a couple bucks more. Yeah. But this is something that you will watch again.
It's like romantic comedy / fantasy. No, I'm not gonna watch it again. This is like the second, maybe third time I've seen it. I don't really need to watch
you really see? This is only my second time watching it.
Yeah.
So.
It was alright.
It was alright. This is very popular. I don't think it'll ever lose popularity.
There's funny parts.
It is.
There's sad parts, like when she came and she's like, they wouldn't sell anything to me. That kind of got me
a little bit in
the
there.
feels,
but she got to learn how to present herself, and I was proud of her.
Yes.
So thank you for giving us Pretty Woman, Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. You guys pretty much made a timeless classic.
Yep. True. I can't deny that.
Yes. Well, we want to thank you very much for tuning in to our review of Pretty Woman. Don't forget, Jules and I, we are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Cash App. If you'd like to make any type of donation, or if you're a legitimate business and you would like us to maybe get your business out there, mention it, wear your t-shirts or whatever or whatnot, let us know.
Yeah.
Also, Jules, we have a Queued Up podcast
With
DJ Aaron Michael. Yes, Queued Up podcast. If you listen to Queued Up podcast, you'll hear them talking about GottaBeReel sometimes. As a matter of fact, we got to get Aaron back on the show at some point to come do some debating with me, you know. And so we're also on the FearCon network, our horror and thriller movies, FearCon. So if you go to Connect to Your City, click on the FearCon tab, and there you will see all of our horror. Yes, you'll see all of our horror and thrillers there.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.